Hello, my name is Colin Beelman, and I am currently Senior Financial Analyst at Lannett Company Incorporated. Mr. Bedrosian, our CEO, has asked me to evaluate our financial policies to determine an optimal growth strategy. After forecasting using historical company data, this proposal details a three-pronged growth enhancement strategy. Allow me to begin with some background. First, we believe growth has peaked and will hold steady at 81% in 2015 before declining to 50% in 2016, then 40%, and lastly 20% in 2018. However, our current financial strategy assumes increasing growth rates each year rather than managed decline and eventual sustainability. This shows the need for adjustment, and after extensive financial modeling on Excel, which is attached as a supplementary material to this presentation, it became evident that slight modifications will drastically enhance our forecasted growth in comparison to current estimates. This is because our larger size has resulted in economies of scale dramatically pushing down our costs relative to our revenue growth. Cash on hand has therefore reached $170.6 million at the end of fiscal 14. The proposal begins with that cash, which represents 62.3% of total 2014 revenue. This huge balance reflects the status of our business when it was much riskier and ignores the cost benefits we've seen from economies of scale. Supporting these cost benefits is the fiscal 2014 total percentage difference that you can see between our costs and revenues, which was 31.18%. Knowing this, I forecast two scenarios which assume the same annual growth rates mentioned above. Doing so, and then decreasing cash on hand balances from 62.3% of revenue to 40% of revenue, results in a 22.3% difference in funds, which is used to internally fund our three-pronged approach. Because revenue exceeded costs by so much, that sustainable decrease in cash is up to 9.5% of costs. Our three prongs begin with $150 million of surplus cash being invested into R&D over a period of 4 years, beginning with $30 million in 2015 until it increases to $45 million in 2018. The second prong involves selling general and administrative expenses, which we will increase by an additional 7% annually in order to stimulate growth through the acquisition of more talented sales representatives and other employees. The third prong is that we'll take the remaining surplus cash and invest it in an equity portfolio with a beta of 1 pegged to the S&P 500 with an expected return of 8%. Doing so allows us to diversify our cash assets while not losing any time value of money. The total added revenue from the proposal is projected to be $2.29 billion over the next 4 years, cumulatively, in comparison to a cumulative expected additional cost of only $1.14 billion. This results in an additional net income of $639.5 million over 4 years, and means that we will be able to grow shareholder value at a much quicker pace, while also dramatically slowing our revenue growth rate decline. To conclude, it is very clear that implementing the strategy allows for a much greater expectation of sustaining growth. It allows us to better utilize our cash without taking on much additional risk, as we do not forecast expenses to increase by anywhere close to 9.5%. In fact, economies of scale suggest that costs will continue to decrease, allowing us to decrease our cash on hand balance again in the future. I would welcome any questions you might have, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the report. Further, please feel free to dive into the Excel model that supplements this material. Thank you.